All right, joining me now for more, we're going to welcome in our panel, retired Brigadier General for the U.S. Air Force, Combat C-17 Commander for the U.S. Air Force, and U.S. Military Representative to NATO and Newsmax contributor Blaine Holt. Along with us, we also have founder of the Shurat, HaDin, and foreign policy expert Nitsana Darshan-Leitner. Great to be with you both. A lot to get to today, but first, I want to start off with that bilateral meeting between President Trump and Iraq's new prime minister. Nitsana, how significant is this meeting, and what do you think will come from it?
Well, the United States needs some allies now in its war against Iran, and therefore they are utilizing any contacts they have. This is, as we know, a prime minister that came from the business world. He understands talks with the president of the United States. And I think they are going to build bridges now. Iraq has a major border with Iran, and it's very, very significant to the continuation of the confrontation of the United States against Iran.
Yeah, General Holt, do you think that Iraq can actually disarm these militia groups?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Iraq is on an upward trajectory. There is an upward arc, and the president is very right to keep al-Maliki at bay. He was installed a long time ago, and again, anytime the United States gets involved in picking our guy, never really works out for us. And so the appointment of this businessman ambassador is sending a strong signal, not just to disarm militias, not just to provide material support and ending the war and getting things back to stability, but in an Iraq that's rising on its own, macroeconomically rising on its own. And I think what you're going to see is a country of Iraq that has possession of its own resources, it's not being exploited, will go off into a very prosperous place. It's going to be very good for the United States.
Yet, meantime, the U.S. military conducted its third straight night of strikes against Iran last night, primarily targeting Iranian coastal defense systems and their missile and drone sites. And U.S. officials have reportedly vowed that any future talks with the regime will take place under fire. So, Nitsana, are we getting to the point here where really our only option for peace is through military force?
Through military force, but I would say also through economic pressure. United States utilized all means they had so far in order to bring the Iranian regime on its knees and to achieve the goals of the war. Iran is not stubborn. Iran is Shiite, is very fanatic. They are very, very extreme, and there is no way that the Iranian regime will give up its assets, the ballistic missile, the nuclear facilities, their enriched uranium, and give up to the pressure of the United States. It was clear from the beginning, from the day that they signed this agreement, that they have no intention to fulfill its condition. And here we are back to a standoff related to the Strait of Hormuz. So what the United States has to do right now is obviously to continue the pressure, to continue bombing them, continue using military forces, having on the side this negotiation, which is okay. I mean, if the United States will reach its goal by negotiation, let it be. But it seems this is not the case, and therefore, in addition to military force, the United States has to put all economic pressure possible against Iran. In order to change the regime in Iran, this is the only way Iran will give up, is to create tremendous economic pressure. We saw how it happened before the war, before the operation. The revolt of the Iranian people came out from very increased, devastated economic situation. And here we have to bring the situation again.
Yeah, and Blaine, Nitsana mentioned the Strait of Hormuz. Of course, one of the main points of contention has been the Strait of Hormuz and who's controlling it. Here's what the president had to say yesterday about reinforcing the Iranian blockade. Listen.
We're putting the blockade back, and it's a blockade not for anybody but Iran. In other words, anybody doing business with Iran can't go through. Everyone else will be able to go through. So it's a blockade. It's a very strong blockade. I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money. And so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection. We're protecting by the countries that we're helping.
Blaine, what do you make of the president's plan, and how effective do you think it will be?
Pitch perfect. Pitch perfect. This is such a refreshing thing for a U.S. military person who's gone off to endless wars. So you mean our servicemen and women are out there, they're doing a mission, and it's actually going to create something good for our nation that comes back to us? We're actually going to get recompensated for opening up the Straits of Hormuz for humanity? So here's what's coming. We're really good at blockades. We're the best in the business. There's going to be degrade. That's what we're doing now. We're finishing up any IRGC capabilities on the coastline. Then there's going to be destroy anything left of the IRGC to put that operation into the hands of the Iranian people themselves with the revolution coming. And that is the last D word, defeat. And that is coming.
All right, and we are watching and listening to every word that you say. Nitsana, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, he posted this on X, claiming that Iran is the guardian of the Strait, not the U.S. This is what he wrote. He said, POTUS is absolutely right. Whoever provides secure and safe passage of commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz should be compensated for the service. Iran has always been the guardian of the Strait and will remain so forever. 20% is, of course, too much. I hear Blaine laughing there. We will be fair with the constant back and forth. Okay, so with the constant back and forth, that being said, Nitsana, can we ensure that the U.S. really is in control here?
Listen, in the end, it depends who has the power. And right now, United States is blocking externally, meaning that if the Iranians thought that they can block the Strait of Hormuz and going through the passes that went from Oman to Iran, came United States and built an overall blockade. And right now, United States has more weapons and more means to tackle any Iranian ship. Iranian cannot do to the United States what the United States did to Iran just last night by sending ships that can bomb the Iranian boats. Iran cannot utilize her Air Force, cannot utilize her Navy. They are all destroyed. So obviously, the United States has a tremendous advantage, military one, over Iran. So the question is clear and the answer is clear. United States, as long as it stands, can defeat Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. The only problem is that President Trump is running out of time. The only problem is the oil price that might rise, and therefore it's very hard to keep the blockade forever. It has to come to a resolution this one or another.
Yeah, Blaine, I want to go back to you and quickly get your response to Araghchi's X post, because I heard you chuckling there a little bit.
Yeah, it's laughable to me that Araghchi is trying to give off the imagery of being still a legitimate player at any kind of table whatsoever, and that we'll cut a different deal. World, everybody rally around Iran. The only threat that Iran poses right now is terror cells in Europe and terror cells here as the IRGC is martyred. That we must take very seriously. No grinning on that one. And as we get through this, we'll get to a better place. But there is no negotiating with these folks. They are Armageddon-bound psychopaths, and we're going to take care of it now.
Yeah, well, Blaine and Nitsana, great to be with you both. Thank you both so much for your insights today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tracy.